What's up? This is your boy 3 Grand Hitman, GRANDHEATBEATS CEO. Today I'm gonna show you how to put together this camera rig, and it's gonna be beautiful, man. This is to help you with motion, to help you keep a clean cut when you move in the shots. Let's go.
My adverbs slurred, no metaphors or similes. Acting like a friend of me, really they secret enemies. And if not, they sure showing the tendencies. They won't be happy till I'm dead and gone. I mean, I'm dead and gone. These ones got me read wrong. They won't leave me alone, I just wanna be alone. Seem like every song I'm on turn into a sing-along. Of turning me on. It's like a ringtone, feel like my theme song. Going back and forth like Aaliyah playing ping pong. Rest in peace, I just want peace. I write a
As you see, we have all these individual pieces of the rig, and we have the camera here. I'm going to put the camera up front. This is going to be one of the last things we really worry about. First, we're going to put the rig together. Alright? So, each individual piece, you got the handles. A left handle and a right handle. You have this piece here with the screw on top. This will be to adjust your camera lens. I'll show you how that's in use later. You have this piece. This is like the main harness on the rig that's going to pretty much hold everything together. It's like a little Z. Little Z piece. Then you have this piece. It's a little roller. Looks like a little something you'll find inside of a printer cartridge or something. Can raise up as well. Then you have your mat box here. It can also raise up and down, go up and down, as well as be tightened in. You want to make sure everything's loose. Make sure all your blue pieces are loose. You have 4 bars here. You have 2 that's the same size. Both of them have blue tips. Both sides. Both sides of blue tips. Then you have one that's slightly longer than those 2. That's double blue tipped as well. Both of them have a blue side. And then you have a long one. That's a little longer than that. But this one only has one blue side and a screw inside. So one blue side with a screw inside. So all in all, you should have 4 poles. You should have four poles, 2 of which same size, one slightly longer, and one slightly longer than that. Then you have this piece here. Has 3 holes in it, 3 circles, 3 little blue screw pieces on it. These parts right here, the little blue pieces, 3 of them. It has 3 holes. One here, and one here. All right. And then you have 2 pieces. They should be they're pretty much the same size, but they're opposites. Because one goes on the left and one goes on the right of the camera. And then you have a bigger piece here, which go on top of the mat box. And then, last piece. It's this little piece here. Looks like a half a square or something, like a half of a pentagon or pentagram or something. And it has a weight. It's about, I'd say maybe 5 pounds. And it has a little strap thing here, right? Okay. Now, that's all the pieces. Now it's time to get to work. So the first step, we're going to take the longest piece, the longest bar, the side with the screw in, and also a blue side, the one-sided blue side with the screw in. And we're going to take this piece right here with the weight on it, and on the opposite end of the weight, you see a hole there. we're going to screw into that. Simple as such. See that? Now we're going to set this off to the side. What this is your shoulder harness. It's where you're going to ultimately control the camera with your shoulders as such. It's going to help you with your movement. Okay? This is a shoulder harness. Alright? So all we're going to do, we're going to sit this one right here to the side. Okay? That's the first step. Step 2. We're going to take the long bar, well, it's the second longest bar, the double-sided blue. Now we're going to create the actual rig. We're going to take this piece, which is the three-sided piece, the 3 holes, the one with the 3 holes. So then, as you see, you got your 3 holes. Got this side right here with the 3 holes. You're going to stick this one in the middle one. In the middle one. Just like this. Just like this. And then I'm going to tighten it down just a little bit. I'm tightening down the middle one because this clamps it together. Okay? So now, we have the bar with the 3 sides right here. Step 3 is this piece. Remember I told you this is like the main part of your rig. It has 4 little blue hinges on it. And like I said, you want to make sure all of them are loose. And then you have a little piece here that screws into your camera. Okay? So it shouldn't be hard to tell that this is where your camera's going to sit. So you take your bar and you bring it through these 2 holes right here. These 2 holes right here. As such. So now, you have your camera sliding on this bar. So to keep it from sliding, I'm going to tighten it down a little bit. So I just spin these blue hinges. That's right there on the bottom of the bar, and now it's tight. Okay? So that's step 3. Step 4, we're going to add the grips. The hand grips. I'm going to add both grips to the bar as such, and then I'm going to tighten it down just a little bit to get a good handle on it. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And now, you got your hand grips. And you have your bar. I'm going to slide this over real quick. Notice all I had to do is just unscrew it and then move it. Unscrew it, move it. Tighten it down a little bit. So now, this is what I have. Pretty simple. So now, for pretty much, you're pretty much set up. Okay? With this, I could pretty much put my camera up here and screw it in, and I could probably use this, but there's a lot more setup, as you see, to it. Okay? Right now, this is basically like the foundation of the rig. This is the foundation of the rig. Okay? Right here. You can control the camera, move it, and everything, just like this. Everything. Okay? This goes in here. So this one, if you notice, you have it like this with this part face down. There's a hole there. That's where your handle goes. Okay? Your handle goes in there. You can adjust it if you want it close. if you want it a little further. But either way, just put it where you want it and come to the blue piece and you screw it on. Okay? So now you have the rig with the weight on it. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this piece for now while I work on the other pieces. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew where everything went. Sometimes these little glue pieces can be hard to screw in and screw out, so we'll leave him over here for now. Like I said, this is back to the foundation. So now that I have the foundation, I'm going to add these last two poles. And what I like to do is keep them where right when I put the blue part in, I tighten them down right there. That's where I'm going to tighten them down at. Okay? Now they're not moving, they're pretty even. Okay? So that's step 5. Now, step 6, you can't really do without your camera on the podium because it's adding all the other stuff to the rig. So, step 6 is simply screwing your camera onto your base. Simple as that. So you take your camera. Here I have the Canon 60D. And you want to make sure it's straight, looking forward. And you just simply screw it on. Screw it onto the camera. Screw it onto the base. Screw the camera onto the base. Now once you have him screwed onto the base, you can always adjust properly. Okay? And like I said, this is the foundation of the rig. Which means at this point, that's because it's not loose. At this point, I control the camera with the rig. And now, the next step, I'm going to take this little roller piece, okay? I'm going to keep, I can adjust it up and down with this screw, and then with this screw I can tighten it. Okay, so there's two little roller screws, a blue screw and a black screw here. Okay, so this is going to go on the outside of your camera where your lens turns. So this piece comes, put it through here, and once you have it even, you're just going to tighten it down back onto the bar with the bottom. Okay, as such. So now, if you look here, you can see that it's spinning. And what it'll eventually do is I'll add this piece onto it, and it'll spin my camera lens. Right? The last and final step, well, we have about 3 more steps, I'm sorry. The big step is your matte box. As you see, it goes up and down, up and down. So what I would do is stick your two ends in and adjust them before you go any further, before you tighten it down. Put each end and then adjust your matte box. As you see, I have my matte box in, so now I can tighten it down. So now my matte box is sitting on the outside of the camera lens. These three flaps are pretty self-explanatory. You stick the flaps onto each side of the matte box. The two sides that are the same, they go on the left and right sides of the matte box. And then the big side sits on top with the groove facing inward. And now you have your
knees.
And now you have your rig ready to go. The only step I have to do now is add my shoulder weight, which is going to go directly in this part, like I showed you earlier in the video, and then just tighten it down. I'm going to tighten it where I want it. Okay, so now I have a fully functional matte box. And so now with the weight on it, you have it ready to film, but the only thing you can't do is spin the lens out. So you gotta come take this piece you want to unloosen it. Right? Now what you want to do is come in on me, because I'm gonna have to show you real quick. Now with this part, you want to bring it around to where you bring it under the camera and onto this groove. And so now what you want to do is make sure this part is lined up with your wheel. Once you have them evenly lined up, then you come here. You're going to take this and send it all the way. And then once you have a nice grip on your camera, you just tighten it down. Just like a screw. Just tighten it down. And what this allows you to do is spin the camera lens. So I just went from 18mm to 50mm to 135mm. And so now we have the camera ready to do what it do. And what it is with this spinner, I can spin my lens. I just went from 18 millimeter. I'm sorry. I just went from 18 millimeter to 50 millimeter to 135. And that's how to properly set your rig up. And when it's all said and done, even if you're just taking pictures, still has a very professional look. And people are going to want to know what you're filming if you're filming using this rig. But what it's mainly used for is to capture better shots. It's so you don't have that shakiness in your hand. It's basically a tripod that you control. And you can still see everything that's in front of it. So I would recommend all the videographers and photographers and basically people who carry that camera around a lot. I would recommend this. You can buy a rig for as low as 99 bucks. Some of them about $400 or $500. Just depends on which rig you want. This one right here, I think I ordered it off Amazon and came about 3 days later, and now we're ready to roll. So I hope I can help somebody out. This has been another Grand Heat tutorial. Stay tuned, man. YouTube.com/GrandHeatBeats. I'm always working. And now that I got this set up, it's time to get out here in these streets and put out some more work. So, till next time, Grand Heat. I'm out.
Motion picture shit, I'm like Will Smith stepping in with the Men in Black. We don't play round. Compensated with the president. If you ain't talking cash, it's irrelevant. I'm blowing money, homie, and I can't stop. Candy red, caddy, white top, call it peppermint. Damn! Homie, what the deal with you? Everything I do is like a motion picture. I'm talking lights, camera, action. It's a motion picture when the camera starts flashing. God damn! I'm just being real with you. Everything I do is like a motion picture. I'm talking lights, camera, action. It's a motion picture when a nigga gets the snapping. God damn! Homie, what the deal with you? Everything I do is like a motion picture. I'm talking lights, camera,